Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Cantina Corner podcast. As always, we are sitting here at max capacity, so grab yourself a seat and a drink. Enjoy yourself with us as we get into this fucking episode. If you are enjoying yourself with us on this episode, make sure you hit that subscribe button on YouTube, that follow button on Facebook, that like, that Twitter comment, anything you can to show that support, to show that you love this show. We would love you for it. So thank you so
Give it
much for
to
that.
us.
Always give it to us. As always, I'm sitting here with my beautiful co-hosts Cody and Nick. How are you guys doing?
What up?
Chilling. How you doing?
Good, good, good. Just want to get in some back office stuff here. First, as always, I want to thank everyone for supporting. Like I said, if you can, do hit those like, subscribe, and follow buttons. That would greatly help the show. It's free, takes a minute, 1 second of your time, and it shows how much you appreciate what we do. We appreciate that you continue to listen. And as I've said in previous episodes, we have an awesome sponsorship with Rep Sports, the creators of Raise Energy, the Raise Energy drink. Not only do they make the energy drink, but they also make a lot of great supplement products that you can enjoy as far as pre-workout, whey protein, sleep aid stuff, anything you can think of. They pretty much got it. They've got some cool swag stuff too that you can get, t-shirts and whatnot that you can rep at the gym. If you love their products, I would definitely highly recommend that you use them. And even better, because we are partnered with them, you can use our coupon code at checkout, which is Cantina Corner. You type that in at checkout, gets you 15% off all their awesome fucking stuff. So I would highly recommend it. It is. It's a hugely solid deal. And all proceeds that we get from that go back into this show. So it makes this show even better. So not only are you supporting them, but you're supporting us, and you get something fucking awesome in the end. So might as well check it out. Highly recommend it.
Sounds like a win-win.
Yeah, absolutely. And then now that we've got that out of the way, we are going to get into some current event stuff here, some video game and movie news as we always do. I have a lot of stuff, well, not a lot, but some pretty interesting stuff as far as video game news goes. I kind of want to start this off with PlayStation. I know most of us here are avid Sony fans, me, Cody, and Nick, as far as playing on Sony, buying Sony products, all that stuff. PlayStation made a pretty big announcement recently where they were going to close down the PlayStation 3, PlayStation PSP, the portable, the original portable, as well as the PlayStation Vita, which was the second version of that portable that they came out with. They were going to close those stores as of July 2nd. So they were going to completely shut them down. You couldn't actually buy anything from them anymore. You could still use, obviously, the games, the portables, the consoles, all that, but you couldn't access and download anything digitally. Well, they got a huge backlash from that. People were pissed. Before I get into like what happened to all that, I mean, how do you guys feel about like, as far as when consoles finally decide to start closing services down for people that are still playing it? Like, do you think that's like a good move for the companies, or do you think like people backlashing on that is like rightfully so? How do you guys feel about that?
Go ahead.
Somebody say something.
I can understand to a point like closing down, like when these companies come out with new games, like MLB The Show 21, just for example, is coming out tomorrow officially.
Yeah.
I can understand that not being made for the PS3. That I can understand. But to close the store, I mean, there's so many other options like somebody could buy. That just doesn't make sense to me. That's forcing someone to like stay where they're at. You know, I mean, even though they didn't get a PS4 or a PS5, they still are loyal if they're still playing a PS3, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So I just think that's bad business. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me on why you would do it, but
I agree. I don't think it's necessarily a good look. I kind of, on one hand, I guess I could kind of understand, but it can't really cost that much to even say like the Show 21. It can't really cost that much to make it compatible for PS3. It can't be that like difficult. It's not like the show's graphics and stuff are that outrageous to where they couldn't make it just for that game example. But like I don't know, I still think no, I don't think it's really a good look. It's like if like you said, if somebody's playing PS3, they're still loyal to it, like still playing that. I don't know why you would close the store down in its entirety. Maybe just certain titles you don't offer on it, whatever. But I don't get the whole closing the store down either. And I
yeah.
think the backlash is good because I think that's something. I mean, we've talked about with like Call of Duty and shit like that, especially them. Like when they come out with shit, fans still buy it up, but it's incumbent on the fans to show that backlash to make these video game producers change what they're doing and listen to the fans more instead of just making a game. Know they're going to get all the money off the first week of sales or whatever, make their money back, and then just say screw the fans. I think that is good that fans are giving that backlash and giving them some shit over it.
Yeah, they should. But as far as like money making the show now on a PS3, it would cost some money. It's a total different engine. You'd have to rebuild the whole entire game.
Yeah, for sure. And before I get into what ended up with the backlash, one thing I will say on it, as far as my opinion, the only thing I can see them doing it far as like business standpoint as to why they would close it down is because the amount of money that they're making on those specific markets, like, PS Vita is its own thing. Like you can only play certain things on that. Obviously you can do remote play with your PlayStation 3 to play that mobily. And, there's some interconnectivity with that, which I can see why people would get pissed. But if it costs more for the upkeep as opposed to what they're bringing in revenue wise from those stores specifically, you know what I mean? That's the only thing I can think as to why they would close it, as well as it just being old. But there was so much backlash. And now that we're in the era where actually people being pissed on the internet, which has always been a thing, but up most recently, we've had, actually things in studios, companies, video game, whatever, movies have been changing things because of the backlash. You had the Sonic redesign when the movie came out. People were so pissed they went back and completely reworked the CGI to make it better, and the movie was really good. If you're a Sonic fan, you loved it. If you were just an average movie fan, you were happy with it. It didn't look weird and creepy. And then you had the Snyder Cut happen. People were pissed. They wanted the Snyder Cut to come out. It finally came out. Whether you liked it or not, like people voicing their opinions is causing a change in these industries. Well, people were so pissed about this that they actually backtracked. Sony backtracked and said, okay, fine. We understand we made a mistake. This is probably not the right move. We see the love that people have for this. So they're leaving open the PS3 and PlayStation Vita stores open now. As far as they've said indefinitely. They might have an end date later, but right now they put no end date to it. They said, well, fine, we'll leave it open. It is what it is. But they're still going to close down the PSP store, which I think is okay because that's an old handheld that they've had with nothing new coming out. They will still close that on July 2nd. So they retracted on the two big ones that they got, and then the PSP still set to close on July 2nd of this year. So the backlash actually worked out, and the fans for those systems are going to get what they want, and they still can have access to those, stores and purchase options, which I think is kind of cool.
And good on Sony for doing that too. Taking into account what the fans, were saying. That's good on them for sure.
Yeah, because it's a good PR move, especially right now with everyone locked in COVID and like people not buying hard copies of stuff. It's like it's the perfect time to like give people the digital option. Like, why remove that from them? You know what I mean?
Yeah, for
Like
sure.
it doesn't make sense. Now going into a little bit more of what Sony has going on, not so much Sony itself, but a specific creator and video game that Sony had, which was Days Gone, which you guys know about, right? That open world zombie game that they had. Well, the creative director and writer, John Garvin, was on a YouTube show from one of the people who was involved in God of War. So they were doing like a collaborative kind of podcast type thing, talking about video games, what they've worked on, the state of the industry, all that stuff. Well, the creative director and writer, John Garvin, as I said, he was asked if Days Gone being added, because it recently just got added to the PlayStation Plus subscription for people to play it without having to buy like a full copy. You play the PS Plus membership, you can just download it and play it because it's included. He was asked specifically if it being added to the PlayStation Plus collection caused a meaningful uptick of engagement with the game, was what the guy who worked on God of War asked him, which basically was saying, is this like a good thing, a good, progression with the game, meaning that it's something good if PlayStation's specifically, centralizing it on their Plus membership. Well, I want to get your guys' opinion on this because he even stated this might piss off some people in the community. The creative director and writer, John Garvin, was quoted by saying, if you love a game, you should, and the swearing is involved. If you love a game, you should buy it at fucking full price. I can't tell you how many times I've seen gamers say, yeah, I got it on sale. I got it through PS Plus or whatever. And he was quoted saying that on the show. I don't know how you guys feel about that. He went on to talk more about it, basically saying, it's like, if you love something, if you stand behind it, you should pay it at full price. You shouldn't wait for it to go on sale. It got that vibe from people, and that was their opinions on it. I don't know how you guys feel about that statement, especially with him being so, specific by saying you should fucking buy it at full price if you love it.
I think I totally get that. The Resident Evil 2 remake, it kind of just makes me think of that. I was so amped about that game, watching all the gameplay and stuff for it when it was coming out, that even though it's a remake, I had no problems paying full price for it. it was so worth it for me to do that. So I can understand that sentiment of him saying that. Especially if you're a gamer. Like, yeah, I get that. But I also do get the other side where maybe if you're tight on cash, you do kind of want to wait for some things to go on sale. So, and I don't think maybe some I don't want to knock people either if that's your situation, because it kind of can come down to financial situation for individual people too, whether you're a gamer or not. So, but I could totally get what he's saying though, 100%. I can't necessarily be pissed at it.
Okay.
No, I'm not pissed at him at all. I don't know why anybody would be. Well, just understand. I mean, understand from his perspective. I get it. Like, we're the consumer, so we think we're always right. But understand from his perspective, he's put his time, his creative mind, like we're doing this podcast. If and obviously we wouldn't fucking charge people to watch this, but say you're putting out content that you think, like, fucking we direct a movie one day and people just bootleg it. Wouldn't that piss you off? You're like, we put all this fucking time and effort into this, and we have fans out there who would rather bootleg it than actually support us.
Mm.
I mean, it's literally what he's saying. I mean, this guy put all his time and effort into creating this storyline in this game to bring it to life. And, you know, there's people who will say, oh, it's a great game, but I'm going to wait about 5-6 months to get it when it's on sale. But at that point, from his perspective, like, he might not get a chance to make another game. They might say, like, look, the numbers weren't very good on that, you know?
Yeah.
So I totally get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was even further into the conversation when I watched it. He was even saying, you know, like, obviously you get games like God of War, because he used that as an example because he was talking to a guy who was, you know, directly connected with the development of God of War 3. And he said, you know, obviously that game sold billions, blah, blah, blah. It did really well. Everyone knows that did fantastically. He goes, I don't work for Sony directly, so I don't know the numbers of what Days of Gone really did. Which I think he probably knows the numbers. He just didn't want to say, because I mean, if he was the creative director and writer of it, I'm sure he knows some form of like how well it did. So he's like, you know, obviously there's no sequel that we know of yet that we haven't like talked about. But you know, I agree with you guys. I think if you do love something, you should support it at full price. And part of this conversation that he was talking to this guy about derived from the fact that Days Gone is being ported to PC finally, and is being ported at full price, even though it's been out for a while. So some people were pissed, like, yeah, I may not have a PlayStation 4, but if this game has been out for a while, why do I have to buy it at $60 a pop, even though it's been out for a minute and it's going on sale for PlayStation, but now PC is going to be 60. You know what I mean? So that's kind of why this conversation became like a thing as to why he was asking him. You know, because PlayStation can get the PS Plus and just play it, you know, at whatever monthly subscription it is for, you know, having that membership. But then if you're on PC, you got to pay $60 and you don't get it for any type of membership.
I go play it on PlayStation. Quit bitching.
Man, if people don't have it, then they got to spend a couple $100 on a console, you know. So that's why people are talking about
well,
it.
then, so if you don't have a PS4, why is it like that's your option? You either buy it or you don't.
No, I agree. I'm just saying that's
the
why
problem
they're
with society, man. They just want shit.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, a lot of people just want things handed to them or just as cheap as possible. It is a little ridiculous sometimes.
Yeah.
They don't, like you were saying too, from his perspective as the guy producing the game and all this and the time he put into it, not many people do try and look from that perspective either.
No.
They just like, well, this is my perspective, this is what I want, so give it to me.
Yeah.
They don't really try and put themselves in their shoes to kind of think from that other side.
Yeah. And I'm not saying I disagree with them. I was just coming at it from like a news standpoint. And,
no, I got you. I'm not saying you did.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I mean, it is a topic of discussion, but I agree. If you like it, you pay for it. If you don't, you don't. It is what it is. I mean,
exactly.
You know,
bro, I paid $100 for the Halo collection, the Master Chief collection.
Yep.
You didn't hear me bitching.
No, and it wasn't. And the thing is that game didn't have like a flubby release or like, you know, issues with it. I mean, there were some glitches. Most games do. They patch that out, whatever. But it wasn't like a bad game by any means, as far as issues or nothing. Like, it was a solid game. So that's interesting. You know, we'll see how well it does on PC. I don't know. You know, if it goes on sale, me personally, because of my financial situation, I'll wait for it to go on sale on PC before I pick it up, because I've already watched a lot of people play it, and that's just not something I'm like, you know.
Well, yeah, if you're not dying to play it, then yeah, I get waiting.
Yeah.
But if you're a diehard fan enough to bitch about it, then you just pay it.
Yeah, exactly. Other news that they got going on in video games as far as controversy or conversation. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Outriders game that just came out recently
Yeah.
from Square Enix. That game is still, and I haven't found anything new as far as them fixing a lot of issues. Obviously, they've had patches come out and stuff and whatnot, but it has been having a rough launch.
Yeah.
Like that game has been struggling with the issues that it's had with server connections, memory losses, like crashing the game, like all sorts of shit.
Do they
And
just
people are
not
pretty
like?
pissed about it.
Do they just not have the infrastructure to support the game's release or something, or is it like
Square
what?
Enix is a huge company. I mean, that's Final Fantasy.
That's
They
yeah.
rushed it.
Okay, so
They
it was
rushed it.
like okay.
Yeah, and another reason people are pissed too is that game was supposed to release at a certain point and they delayed it for an extra 9 months and they're still having these problems from launch. So that's what made people even more mad. You know, like if it was released when it was supposed to, that's one thing, but when you push it back 9 months saying that you're trying to fix certain things to make sure it's good and then it's like detrimentally bad still, kind of like fuels the fire a little bit.
And that's why I say they rushed it. They got so much backlash when they pushed it back. They weren't going to push it back again. They were just like, fine. This is where we're at. I mean, it's the same thing Call of Duty did with Cold War. Cold War was fucking rushed out, and you could tell when it was there. Like, even though, they took over for Sledgehammer last minute, but
Cyberpunk was the same way.
Cyberpunk was bad, dude. That was fucking garbage.
Pushback, and then just total shit
Trash.
show. And all the fixes that they're making are making it worse too. Like some small stuff is obviously being like repaired, but it is just a fucking dumpster fire.
So it basically pulled like a Bethesda, like Fallout 76, and just like a trash game. It was everybody's waiting for it to come out, and then Fallout 76 comes out, and it's just trash. And it's like this is Bethesda, like one of the biggest game developers, and like they're just. And then when the fans were pissed about it, Bethesda just like kind of just gave them the middle finger, and that was it. Like,
Well, the thing with Outriders too is it's not a trash game.
It looks
Like, it
good. I've seen some streamers play it. It looks like Destiny, honestly. It reminds me of that.
Yeah, it's been basically called like the love child between Destiny, Division, or Division 2, whichever you prefer. And then there was like another game. I mean, it's in essence a looter shooter. Oh, it was Destiny, Anthem, and The Division. Like if you put all those games together, like that's what it was.
Yeah.
You know, you got your bullet sponge enemies, you've got your like, some creative bosses to fight. They've got like 15 levels of end game content. Like it's not a horribly bad game. I've heard a lot of shit talked about the story. The story's really cringy and stupid and it's not that interesting. And I watched like a whole 40-minute video on it today of someone explaining it. So I kind of got like what they were getting at. It's not a trash game. It's just that they've had so many connection drops and all this stuff that has made it unplayable.
Yeah.
So I mean, they'll fix it. They'll patch it out, hopefully. And I think the game will do well after the fact, but they really have lost a lot of players because of that right from the get-go, especially at $60 and you can't even connect to their servers.
yeah, I'd be
When
pissed.
when you've got people that are fighting bosses, some fighting the last boss and like getting very close to the end, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, lost server connection, and then you got to restart all that shit. Like you'd get pretty pissed.
Yeah.
So we'll see if they patch it out. If they do, Outriders will do well. I mean, Square Enix has a good following. The game looks beautiful, and I've wanted to play it. I'm just waiting until they fix that shit, and I'm glad I obviously didn't buy it before that. But moving on to another game, Apex Legends has some exciting news coming out. If you're big into Apex Legends and the new hero that they just released or announced, the Valkyrie is going to be coming out. I believe it's going to be released on May 4th, the character into the game. One thing that I find interesting with this character, because I know, you guys play Apex more than I do, but I do love the game, is the creators of Apex, which you guys know is also the creator of Titanfall 1 and 2, right?
Okay.
Well, Titanfall 1 and 2, this character is actually a daughter of a Titanfall pilot. And the actual creators of Apex and Titanfall have come out and confirmed that this character is tied in with Titanfall, like directly, not just like they're just saying it, like it's directly tied in with the game, which has got a lot of people excited that they're actually going to be bringing in the Titanfall aspects of possible like mechs and all those different things into Apex Legends. So this could be the beginning of that, but the character is directly tying the two franchises together from this company. So I'm actually really excited about that. I don't know about how you guys feel about it.
That's kind of sweet. I never really played Titanfall, but it's cool anytime games like that do like kind of a tie-in from other games and stuff, especially if you're a fan of both the games, like you obviously are, like that's kind of sweet. Now I would be curious if they are going to do some mech stuff in Apex. I would like to see it maybe be a separate game mode where you could either go in mechs or you stay as just a regular person running around or whatever. I don't know how mixing those two would be, when you come up, you roll up on a squad and they're meched out and you're not, like,
Yeah.
you just get your shit rocked, like. But obviously that's hypothetical. Who knows if they're even going that route? But
Yeah. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but aren't those characters in Apex already named after characters in Titanfall?
I don't know for sure, but I know there's a lot of correlation that people have connected with that. But this is like the first official confirmation from Respawn that this character is directly connected. Like
Right.
it's the first like 100% official thing that they've actually said.
I mean,
I mean,
it's dope.
the whole world is technically supposed to be the same universe.
Yeah. It's dope, but I mean, it really doesn't do anything. Still a BR. It's not really a storyline game, so it's kind of tough to like
yeah.
connect the storyline into, I don't know.
What is great is that they're still coming out with stuff for Apex though. For how long it's been out, they're just still updating the game and still keep it going. Try and keep it fresh, add new characters.
Care
That's
about their
one thing
game.
that has kept me playing Apex as long as I have is I don't play it hardcore all the time, but I'll always go back to it. And it's like it is nice to just try and refresh it every now and then for
Just
players.
caught a dub the other day.
Nice.
I mean, Apex, I will say, in my personal opinion, not speaking for obviously Cody and Nick here, but my personal opinion, it is the most solid BR that they have out there as far as like, you know, they still have cheating and stuff, but it's not as rampant with cheating. It's not as rampant with all that stuff. It's a pretty solid BR. Warzone is fun, but it has its issues, obviously. I think Apex is the most well-rounded BR that they have out there right now.
It's the most balanced for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the most content released.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, I'm excited for that. So May 4th, if you're an Apex Legend fan, definitely check that out. New character coming out. If you got the coin for it, pay for the, ability to buy her. If not, hopefully you got that saved up so that you can unlock her right away. And definitely check out the trailer for that. They have a trailer online. It's basically like the character info trailer. So if you haven't seen that yet, type in Respawn, Apex Legends new hero, whatever you want to type in on YouTube, and I'm sure you'll be able to find it. It's really interesting because they show like the mech and stuff, and like her character basically has like taken parts of an actual Titan from Titanfall and reworked it to like her actual self to use in Apex Legends. So I'm interested to see what they do with that. As far as video games news, that's pretty much the hard hitting stuff that I had. I don't know if you guys know anything big with video games going on, anything you want to drop in, or if we want to just roll into movies.
Well, because you brought up Square Enix earlier too, I've been keeping my eye out for Final Fantasy VII updates and all that, and I know we had kind of talked about it before. They're coming out with the DLC, the intermission or whatever they're calling it, on June 10th. But I did see today that the extra character. This kind of makes me sad because I don't have a PS5, but the new character that they're putting in there is going to be a PS5 exclusive for the DLC. Yuffie, however you say her last name.
Oh, Yuffie?
Yuffie, yeah,
Yeah.
from like the original, but she wasn't. I don't believe she was playable character in the original one, but they are making her one in this. But yeah, it is kind of sad. It'll be just a PS5 exclusive that you'll be able to play as her. Which I'm not getting a PS5 just yet, but when I do, This is probably definitely be a game that I get on PS5 when I buy a PlayStation 5. So, but that
I
just
don't
got me
blame you.
excited.
I don't blame you. I mean, Final Fantasy, I'm not surprised they're making it Sony exclusive with the PS5. Like, I'm not surprised at all. Like, honestly, yeah, it would be nice if they threw it on the PS4, for people who have already bought it. Even
Right.
if you had to pay, like, say, a little extra because you had the older console.
I would. Which goes back to
Exactly.
what we were talking about earlier too. Like
Yeah.
that's a game where I'd pay the price for it because it's a solid ass game. I've always enjoyed it. So
Yeah. I mean, that's their baby. So, I mean, if you're a Final Fantasy fan, check that out because Yuffie's a cool character. I've always liked her in the Final Fantasy series. Like Nick said, I don't know if was playable in the original.
I don't think because when I was first reading about the DLC and all that, and because it's been forever since I played it on PlayStation 1 also, that I thought I was reading that she was. You met her and talked to her and stuff, and the one village was the Wutai village,
Yeah.
but that she wasn't necessarily playable. So that was kind of the cool thing they were doing with this is they were making her playable and all that. But so the whole DLC that's coming out, just her part is going to be PS5 exclusive, but it'll be sweet either way.
Yeah. So, you got anything exciting with video games, Cody, or you want to roll into this?
I got some movie news though.
Yeah, that's what I'm excited for. Hit me with it, man.
Did I give you like the super exciting one first or last?
Last.
Yeah, I'm gonna say last. I want the icing on the cake last, man.
All right. Well, this weekend, Spider-Man 3, obviously we know is gonna have the multiverse and all that shit. And it's rumored that Doc Ock's coming back and Toby and Andrew Garfield. Well, I don't know if I can say this guy's last name correctly because all I think of is Yadier Molina, but Alfred Molina, is that his actual last name? Is that how it said? The guy who played Doc Ock?
I haven't read his last name in a long time, but I know his first name.
It looks like Molina. But anyways, he is confirmed to come back to reprise his role as Otto Octavius. So Doc Ock will for sure be in Spider-Man 3.
He was always one of my favorite Spider-Man villains. That dude was sweet.
Yeah. So
that movie was fantastic.
Yeah, it was great. And he played the role perfectly too.
Oh yeah.
But another piece of exciting news in this is one of the people who worked on the film leaked the merch, the actual, like when you work on it, you get like official movie merch.
Yeah.
So it was like just a picture of, and it says Spider-Man 3, what is it? No Way Home or whatever.
Yeah.
But literally, like, and it has to be Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man is on the lettering of Spider-Man. So people are like, this is definitely like, it's like that's the official merch. It's like his suit from the Amazing Spider-Man. Like, so I'm pretty positive that pretty soon they're just going to admit, like, yes, Toby and Andrew are going to be in this film.
Oh, they have to.
Yeah, because, you have to. You can't bring back Otto without Toby either. So it's like,
that's going to be awesome, especially because I know, like I told you guys, I just watched the Spider-Man, what's the one Tom Holland?
Homecoming,
and that was great. And now I'm finishing, I finished Infinity War, and I got to finish Endgame later tonight. So I'm excited to get to the other Spider-Man right after that.
Far From Home.
I like Infinity War and Endgame, but I'm really excited to get to the other Spider-Man.
Look at this guy turning into a Tom Holland fan.
I liked it. I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I was going to.
Yeah,
it was really
He's good. He looks quirky, but he's good.
And honestly, in Infinity War and Endgame, that's kind of his role and everything is getting me more kind of stoked to watch that. Was it Far From Home?
Yeah,
or whatever,
Far From
right?
Home. Yep.
Yeah.
Kind of getting groomed to take over.
Yeah,
but anyways,
he's a well-rounded Spider-Man, man.
Here's the fucking knocked me in my fucking seat, even though I was sitting down when I first read this.
One?
This is the big one, bro. And this is DC news. I don't get excited for DC news, and I fell back in my chair that I was already sitting in.
Oh shit.
Oh shit is right. All right. So you might have seen the Flash movie that's coming out. And I think it's called Flashpoint or something like that. But it's going to be about their multiverse because, of course, they got to copy what, Marvel's getting ready to do.
Yeah.
But it was rumored that there would be versions of different Batmans within the film. Ben Affleck's Bruce Wayne will be re-teaming up with Ezra Miller's Barry Allen.
Okay.
So they're going back to that. Wow. It is confirmed. This is 100% confirmed and official. Michael Keaton will be reprising his role as Batman.
Captain D! Let's go! Let's go back!
Let's go!
Yeah.
Oh, it's gonna be awesome.
When I read that, I was like, what? I'm Batman.
Oh. Bath mats. He's back.
So there you go, Adam. I am officially stoked for a DC film. And it's probably going to be a fucking 2-second scene of Michael Keaton as Batman. But I got to see it. I got to see it.
If you haven't heard it, folks, you heard it here first. Michael Keaton's fucking back, baby.
Oh, that's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So that's my big movie news. There's not much coming out. I mean, you got Mortal Kombat comes out this Friday.
Yeah.
I think it's been in. Did it come out in theaters Friday, like this past Friday? But they're waiting for HBO Max this Friday, right?
No, it's come out in other countries. I think it already
Okay,
released.
other countries.
Yeah, other countries. It hasn't released in theaters for the US yet.
Gotcha.
But I actually want to ask both of you, is that a movie that you well, first, are you both excited for the movie?
Not as much as I was beforehand.
Okay, why is that?
The theme song.
Okay, well, yeah. I mean, I agree with you on that, but that's like a throwaway if the movie's good as a whole.
I understand, but that is so off. Like,
I know.
So off that it's just like there's zero chance that they get this right. That's where I'm at right now.
Yeah. Well, my hope is that they take the part of the song that sounds close and just use that and just fucking eliminate the rest.
Yeah.
And not use it in the movie.
Kick
but like
Diplo out of the studio and let's like.
Yeah.
Have you heard it, Nick?
No.
Oh
no.
God.
We
should record his reaction to it. What
God,
the fuck?
I feel like it's gonna. That's exactly how I feel like it's gonna be. Because
that's what I did.
I'm thinking of the
I was
Mortal
like,
Kombat
what the
now,
is going on, dude?
You had to do that.
Oh, I did.
That
I did. Yeah, it was.
All right. Well, we'll play it off air just for copyright infringement issues because that hasn't even released yet. So we'll get your reaction on that. We'll make a fucking TikTok out of that for sure. But what I will say is that the movie is coming out this Friday. I want to know if you guys are like going to go to the theater for that, or are you okay watching that at home?
Fuck no, I'm watching it at home. I got HBO Max, bro.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't want to see the fights and like the epic sound and everything like that, like with the way it looks? What about you, Nick?
Well, I'm already a fickle person to get to the movie theaters as it is. So
you're a fickle person to get out of the house, bro.
But so it's, I don't know. And now that I just found out he's got HBO Max to watch it, I might just, hit up Cody and be like, hey, dude, you want to chill this weekend?
I'm a fickle pickle, and I'm going to mooch off my friend's subscription.
Yeah, we're not big enough fans to pay full price, dude.
Yeah,
I'm going to the theater to see it. Like, I'm going to be in the middle of a move in another state, and I know I'm not going to be able to see it in theaters right when it releases that day, and I'm still going to wait to go to the theater. At least that's my plan until I cave. Until I cave.
Let me tell you, you're going to pay about $13 to $15 for a movie ticket, right?
Yeah.
I pay $15 for HBO Max, so damn it, I'm going to be sitting on the couch watching on HBO Max. I got a sound bar. I got just as good quality here. And I could pause it, go take a piss, go cook some food, take a phone call.
This is the first Mortal Kombat movie since, if
flip her over and go in for seconds.
Correct me if I'm wrong, since 1994.
No. There was a second one. Wasn't there?
That's the second one.
Is it the second one?
Damn.
Yeah.
I thought the second one was like 96. Fuck.
I thought it was a little later too. I mean, I think it was still 90s, but
I thought the first one was 94.
Let me look it up right now.
You know, I asked Kim the other day. I thought it came out this last Friday, and I had asked her. I was like, "Oh, you want to watch Mortal Kombat when we get home?" And was that right?
Okay, so we were all wrong. We were all off by 1 year. Original was 95, sequel was 97.
I don't think I said any years, so I wasn't technically.
Well, I was closer to the second one than you were.
Listen, don't get fucking anal with me, okay? All right,
anal.
We were both just as close. Yes, anal. All right, it's a fatality. It's
brutal.
Don't look at it.
Neither makes a baby.
But yeah, so I mean, I'm excited for it because I've watched a lot of whatchamacallit, like fan web series and different things that they've done in the past, trying to drum up a movie for this. So I feel like it's a in my opinion, must watch in theaters if you're a Mortal Kombat fan. Because I feel like the first experience needs to be on the big screen, like just to me, because even if that song sucks, if just like anything, sometimes a song sucks, but when you hear it live, it sounds better because it's loud and in your head.
Shut up. There's no way that's sounding better.
It's not going to sound better, but it'll at least be a better experience than hearing it on the TV and going, this is fucking trash.
Dude.
Yeah.
All right. He's getting paid by them to sell it right now.
I got a 300-pound guy sitting in front of me ripping ass the entire movie. Yeah, sounds like a great experience. I hate to smell BO and ass. Thank God I got popcorn. Fucking dumb.
Just throw the popcorn at him and he'll be distracted. He'll stop farting because I want to
Yeah.
eat the popcorn off the
Oh,
ground.
Cookie Crisp in my bum bum.
But yeah, I mean, I want to see it in theaters, but I'll probably cave and have, friend. I don't know if she wants to see it, and probably end up watching it by myself or with her. So I'll probably break and watch it on HBO Max. And if it's good enough, then I'll go re-see it in the theaters. But I hope to see it in theaters first. That's just me.
Good for you, dude.
No, thanks, fucker. But I mean, that's all I'm pretty much know in movie news.
That's it.
Obviously we've got stuff coming out of Marvel like Loki and all that stuff, and we'll get into that as that gets closer and all that good dandy fucking fantastic stuff.
Yeah, get a bob.
But yeah, I think that's gonna wrap it up for current events here with video game and movies. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Like I said, if you enjoyed it in the beginning, enjoyed it all the way to the fucking end, and you made it this far, you're a beautiful fucking human being, and I love you. But yeah, definitely subscribe, follow, like, all that shit. And definitely if you want to check out Raise, do that. Use our coupon code. Like I said, Cantina Corner at the beginning. Use that at checkout. 15% off. Get you great fucking products. I love their energy drinks. I'm going to check out their fucking workout stuff for sure. And yeah, that'll wrap it up for this, and we'll see you next time.
That's a
Peace.
wrap.